friends. Welcome to the Johnson City Living Podcast, where we learn about the people, places, events, and flavors that make Johnson City a lovely place to live. It is a beautiful May day here in Johnson City. I'm here with my new friend, Rachel Holmes. She is owner, chef, just awesome creator of all things delicious at Petite Sweets here in Johnson City. Rachel, thank you for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited to get to know you a little bit. So Mitch brought you on, which is just awesome to have somebody hook me up with somebody new that I haven't met before. So I'm excited. First of all, Johnson City Living. What do you love most about Johnson City?
Well, I'm born and raised here, so it's pretty much all I know. But I love the size. I love the seasons. And just the community as a general. I think everyone's generous. Everybody's outgoing. I think, especially as a small business owner, it's nice to see when things come up or things change, that it's a community that comes together.
Yeah.
It's a community that rallies to help. And so I think all those things play into it.
Yeah. That's the number one answer is people over and over and over. We get a lot of mountains, a lot of seasons, some fun things to do here. We had a mountain bike guy. He loved the mountains, so ride mountain bike, build mountain bike trails.
Not quite mountain biking is my thing.
You're not a mountain biker?
Not too much.
I'm not either. Don't tell. All right. So you grew up here a little bit. Tell us about your family. Tell me a little history give me the Rachel story.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see. Well, how long do I have? No, I'm just kidding.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
My dad met my mom.
Exactly. Yeah. We can go back that far if we need to. So born and raised here in Johnson City. My mom owned a coffee shop here for about 13 years called Java Rush.
Oh, yeah.
So I've just grown up always immersed in the community, ringing people up when I was 12 years old. So that's something that I've always been really passionate about. Grew up in the same place across from Providence Academy my whole life. My parents built the house that they lived in. And so when it came time for my mom and stepdad to want to downsize, me and my husband actually purchased that house. And now we're living in the house I grew up in.
Right across from Providence?
Yeah.
Up on the hill?
Yeah. Well, in the yellow house. Yeah. Kind of a little bit across.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I think I know right where you're at.
Yeah. So we just, I went to Providence Academy. My nieces go to Providence Academy. So, Johnson City is just where it's been, where it's at.
Yeah. We love Providence.
Yeah.
Okay. So you graduate from Providence Academy in
2009.
Okay.
Yeah. Give my age.
You're like going 2009 and I'm like, I graduated in 91. So you got me, you're a little bit younger.
Just had my 31st birthday.
Awesome. How many weeks ago?
April 25th.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had my 49th birthday like a couple days ago.
So cupcakes.
Yes, thank you. And Rachel brought me birthday cupcakes, and I tried one, and they're awesome. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But So what was after high school? What did you decide to do then?
Yeah, so I went to Culinary School for one semester, and then ended up kind of dropping back from that. All I did was breads, and I was like, my focus is cakes. That's that's what cakes. I want to do. Yeah. So
I'm gonna be a cake boss.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just started kind of doing stuff for more and more for the customers that came through the shop. I would do cupcakes for the coffee shop, things like that.
Did you go to Johnson and Wales?
I did not. No. So just after leaving the culinary school in Bristol.
Okay. I didn't know we even had one.
Yeah. It's not there anymore. Oh. Yeah. It was right next to Blackbird, actually.
Nice.
So I got lots of fun goodies from Blackbird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I just started helping my mom out more, really focusing on that. All my sisters worked there. It was just a whole family affair.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Sometimes fun, sometimes not so fun, but it was good. And so more and more just kept doing cakes for friends, family, things like that, getting the word out. I decided I want to kind of officially launch my business. And so I traded some cakes with Preston Woodworking and got my first cabinet to sell cupcakes from, a little display shelf. So I think that weighed like 1,200 pounds. It was so heavy. And my poor husband had to move it like 3 times.
They make good stuff, but
they
it's
do.
heavy.
It
Holy
was
smokes.
solid.
Yeah.
So
it's going to last you a lifetime.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah. And then when I met my husband, he's a Mississippi boy. He finally convinced me in 2014 that I needed to branch out, get my own space. And so just we got married that same year that we started a new business. So
Just pile it all on. Let's
I
have a
think if we
kid
made
too.
it through that year, we're good to go. We're going on 8 years now. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So
What's the lucky fella's name?
Zach Holmes.
Zach Holmes. What does
Yes.
Mr. Zach do?
He's medical rep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he works for Right Coast Medical. Shout
Yeah.
out to them.
Hey,
It's owned by Brent Long, who's also a huge part in the community here.
Brent and our buddies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
So yeah, and he's Zach's the driving force behind a lot of stuff that I do. So
That's cool.
he's a huge encourager. I think encourager is a nice word for
Yes.
it.
A visionary,
Yes.
encourager.
Yeah, hard worker. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
He
we
just
have
loves
2 little
you and
girls
wants you to
together
do
as
better.
well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Tell me about those little guys.
So Charlotte is almost 4, and Miss Ruby's almost 2. So
You got your hands full.
They're a wild bunch.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I have 2 amazing nieces. Who one is 8, Peyton, and Haven's 5.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember 2 and 4. It's one of those times where you can't take your eyes off of
Oh
them.
yeah.
They're going in a second and they're into
Mhm.
something and you're just like, how did you even get there and do that fast? So
They're good ones, but they're a wild. So right now we're raising some chickens.
Ooh.
We
You got a little
cow. And
yeah, because you got some land over there.
A little bit.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. So it's fun. Little hobby farm is what we're working on. So while baking cakes.
While baking cake. So how did you where do you feel like or the Lord led you into the cake business? How do you feel? How did you get interested in cakes?
It really was kind of a combination of things. My grandmother on my dad's side, which my maiden name is Little, like I was explaining to you, she was an awesome baker, had several recipes in Southern Living actually. And my mom was also an awesome cook, but my grandma was really good at baking. And so I think that kind of just sparked it, just seeing things that she would do, and just that's how we show our love in my family too, is cooking and food. And it just makes it's just we just love the reaction that we get from people. And so I think that sparked it a little bit. And again, having that hard work ethic installed at the coffee shop, that drove me to own my own business.
Right.
And then the petite thing came in just because my maiden name was Little. And I also didn't care for going to bakeries and getting giant brownies or giant cupcakes. I wanted things that I could sample and try different flavors. And because I don't want to get one thing and be bogged down with it. And these minis are basically sugar-free, fat-free anyway. So
they're calorie-free. I mean, I've got 12 of them. And they're all just decorated beautifully and just really cute. So, but being small, I mean, you've almost got the same amount of work in the big one. So I could see why people do big ones, and because the small is probably even more challenging.
Yeah, they are. We average about 2 minis per like a standard size, which we offer both sizes in the store.
So you can get a regular size cupcake.
Okay. Yeah, but I like the mini, especially if you're going somewhere, because you can offer multiple flavors to someone.
Yeah.
And not feel too guilty about it.
That's right. Yes. And then I can try all of them today.
Yeah.
And I won't feel too bad because I worked out this morning. Yes.
Yeah.
I burned a lot of calories, and I can't even hardly pick up my arms. That's cool. So tell me about. So you branched out, did you say in 2014?
14.
So you've been going 7, almost 8 years now.
Yes. Yeah. So it's really crazy.
Tell me about the life cycle of your business. What's been going on. And
it first started out, I started renting a space on East Oakland. It was 700 square feet. And I started just doing pickups and consults, just private things, no walk-ins. And then I got to where I wanted to branch out and do more walk-ins. At that time, I was working at Bass Pro when they first opened as well. And so I was working there till about 10 or 11 at night, and then driving home and then doing cakes the next day and things like that. And so it was a huge process.
You are a hard worker.
It was a huge process to go through.
For our listeners, Bass Pro is 30, 45 minutes away. So.
Correct. From where I was living in Jonesboro, it was a little bit of a drive.
Yeah.
And so, but it was a really good experience because I had never worked corporate before.
Yeah.
I'd always been in small business. And so I'm thankful for that. Thankful for, just the people that I met and everything through there as well. 2 of the people I met there actually ended up working for me.
Cool.
And they were some of the best employees that I had too. So, so I got, so I worked there. And then once I was like, I need this full time. This is what I need.
We're going full time. I'm stepping out.
We're doing it.
Jumping off the ledge.
Yeah, it's scary.
It is scary.
But we did it. And so I stopped working there. And then I gained 1 employee. And then another one, I think that same year. And then a few years, I kind of just cycled a couple employees at a time and kind of just did what I could. And then I feel like these last 2 years, we've really hit our stride.
Yeah.
It's been a huge blessing. I have even a bigger fire in my belly than I ever have had
Mm.
before. I'm at, I think, seven employees. I have a couple positions open right now. And I have an amazing team.
That's awesome.
They're an amazing team. The strawberry rose that you tried was made by my baker Mika.
Okay.
So she came up with that.
It's delicious.
Yeah. And so everything that you guys see that come from us, it's just every person in my team has been a part of, whether it was a full cake and someone baked it, iced it, did the fondant. It's just a huge team effort. And I'm so thankful for everybody that I have.
Yeah. It's good to have great people. And I don't know, like when I started hiring some people, I was very fearful, like, because at that point you're like, okay, I'm making it and I need a little extra help to make it a little better, but now I'm responsible for this person.
Exactly. Their livelihood, their families, everything.
And I don't know about you, but the Lord shows up and kind of rewards that stepping out in faith and hiring somebody, I've found. And so luckily it's been working well for us. I'm glad it's working well for you and you're continuing to grow. And so you make cupcakes. Do you do, but these are just small ones. So do you, if I want a wedding cake, that Carly and I, we've been married a long time, so we could renew our vows.
Have another one.
We'll get a big old wedding cake. That'd be awesome. You do that?
Yeah. So we basically, our tagline is sweet treats for any occasion. So weddings were huge for. Our biggest thing is custom cakes for showers, birthdays, anything you need. But you can also just come see us and walk right in and get cupcakes, brownies, truffles, cookies. We're really trying to focus on, once we can build a bigger team, we'd really like to focus on having even more sweets that you can walk into. But just getting a bigger team is a huge part of that. So more hands.
What's the craziest cake you've ever made, you think?
Oh, man.
Are you like doing like stuff on Cake Boss? Like you've got supports and
not
like if this
quite,
crane's hanging this over here, you know, like I'm like, I don't even know how they come up with that stuff.
I'm not quite on that. I will shout out to Cake Buds located here downtown too.
Yes.
Timmy is like all hell.
Cake wizard.
Yeah, he's awesome when it comes to that kind of stuff. I focus more, not as much on the fondant or sculpting, but more on buttercream. And so that's the kind of more thing that we do. And I try to do just about anything on buttercream that I possibly can.
For the record, I love buttercream. And
good.
I don't know. I was talking to somebody else the other day when they came out with this whipped cream stuff years ago. I was like, I can't get behind that. I mean, I'm
not a fan of Crisco.
It's pretty, but it just doesn't have the flavor. It's kind of like fake
we
cake.
focus on the good, the heavy, hearty stuff.
It's going to stick with you. Yes.
So that's what we focus on. We've done quite a few crazy cakes. The one that probably sticks with me the most is when I first started. So you can only imagine what it looked like. It was, I don't know how I charged for some of the stuff that I did when I first began. But it was for a groom's cake and it was a head of a donkey.
Oh my gosh.
It was just interesting. It's a groom's cake kind of choice.
Yes, that is a little.
Yeah. But
my buddies would probably give me the other end of the donkey.
I don't know if the ears were quite the same, but so
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Any cake mishaps? Like, have you had to just? Oh man, we're on the way to the wedding, and you found it in my back seat.
Luckily, we haven't had anything of that nature. I did have a customer walk out of the door carrying like 8 dozen cupcakes and fall off the sidewalk, and they all were ruined, so we had to quickly try to redo those for them. But luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had any crazy cake mishaps.
Ouch, that would be disappointing for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you do for fun when you're not baking cakes and working and making buttercream?
I know we have a pontoon boat. Really like the lake kind of. We got it during COVID because we were sick of being at home.
Well, you mentioned like in the last couple of years you've hit your stride. So COVID, let's talk about that for small business. I mean, people weren't having parties. Did that affect your business pretty heavily or not?
We closed down for 6 weeks.
Okay.
So that part. It didn't. We didn't have the overhead going at the same time.
Right.
So that part was nice.
But 6 weeks.
The 6 weeks was hard.
Like, a lot of people shut down for 6 months or permanently.
We probably wouldn't have made it through that. I don't know how business is. This is probably the hardest. I say we've hit our stride, but at the same time, the past 2 years has always been the hardest for any small business, I think.
I agree.
So we're blessed in the sense that we have hit our stride. But when we did, it was kind of a blessing for me because I was pregnant with baby number 2. And so it was good for me just to kind of relax and be able to focus on that. And with my 2-year-old at the time.
Yeah.
So we did some things like at Easter, we did cookie decorating kits.
Oh,
And we were
cool.
able to do curbside pickup for
Okay.
those. We did quite a few of those. But once we came back, we were still able to do a good amount of business because although people weren't throwing huge parties, they were still wanting cake for intimate parties. And so
Right.
we were able to take more orders. They were just smaller orders.
Or just drop something by somebody to say, hey,
Yeah.
I know you're alone and we love you. And here you go.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was still a blessing in disguise for us because we were still making it through that time. It was just smaller and more frequent orders. So, and now I've recently seen, I think we were talking about the other day at the shop, but the Easter before last, I think was like the boom. It was like the first season, the first holiday where everybody felt comfortable kind of getting more together. And so since then we've seen an increase on wedding cake sizes and birthday cake sizes. And the past couple of months, we've had a couple people saying, getting a couple cakes at a time, saying that this was like one big celebration of all the past birthdays and all the past occasions.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's just it's been neat and interesting to see how the past 2 years have developed.
Yeah, it's neat too to be involved in all these great events, right? You're kind of like just a part of it.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Like, hey, Rachel's one of our family members.
Yeah.
Us a cake. Yeah. So I'm going to tell people, because you said a lot of people just walk in and get stuff, right?
Mhm.
So you're on Oakland.
Yeah, East Oakland Avenue.
Yep, right by Phil Trigg, and
Yes.
he's a good friend of mine, and and Daniel, and then
we love them.
If you follow Princeton, which is where it comes from, Rome Street, probably Evergreen, and there's I don't know what over there. I'm trying to get people there who's
Crazy
not from
Tomato.
here. Crazy Tomato, yeah. And it'll dead end into Princeton, and then you just make a left, and then they're right there on the right.
Yeah, in the middle of like the car wash and Grand Furniture. We're right in that vicinity.
There you go. Yeah, if you find Grand, just keep going, and they're going to be up on the left. And,
yeah.
So, what are your hours?
We were open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5, and then 10 to 2 on Saturdays.
10 to 2 on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you eat in there, or do you just?
You can. There are tables, but I would say 90% of us is just grabbing and going.
Okay. Do you have coffee? Do you do that?
We do not. No drinks.
No drinks.
No drinks. We just focus on providing the sweets, and then
you have an anti-drinking policy.
A little bit. No, we have water and some soft drinks, but no coffee.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Okay. It sounds like you're growing. Are you looking for new space? Because you're kind of maxed out there, right?
Yeah. So we actually in December purchased the 2 suites. Raymond with Tricon.
I remember. Yeah.
We bought those 2 suites from him.
And so you moved over on the other side.
So we moved over. Yeah.
Nice.
The very last suite we're renting out, but the suite beside me, Raymond handled the construction for, like he has my other construction jobs.
I like that
because they're amazing.
Yeah.
And so now we have those 2 suites. So now we have a baking kitchen, a decorating kitchen. I have an office for myself and my office staff. So it's been from having a shared office of like a pantry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like this room right here.
Oh, this is glorious.
This is huge.
Compared to what we had before. So my old office is now a dry storage. So
gotcha.
So it's been really awesome.
Have you had any supply chain issues? Like, I know a lot of people are having issues getting different ingredients. Is that something you're dealing with?
A little bit. It's not so much as white chocolate chips we've had a huge issue with on getting in, but the supply chain is not as bad as the increase of cost. Yeah. So we actually had to go up on our cost the beginning of this year, which as not the best business person, I hadn't done in like a year and a half. So I hate
you're almost giving them away.
Yeah. So I hated to do it, but I think I mean, you always expect people to have a little bit of an attitude or something, but I don't think we've had one comment in that direction. I think everybody is just super supportive and encouraging about it. And I think more than ever, the community wants to see local businesses thrive. Yeah. And so they're doing what they can to do it.
What do you think is one of the keys to your thriving as a business?
I think you got to put in the hours.
Got to put in the hours for sure.
That's a huge part. I think one thing that I'm continuously working on is knowing my worth, but also staying humble. I think personally for me, and honestly, probably every other woman-owned business will tell you that saying no is really hard for us to do.
I'm a people pleaser. It's hard for me to say no. Yeah. I want people to be happy. I want to give them whatever they want. But there are times where you're like, yeah, I can't help you with that.
Exactly. And you're also going to have those people that don't necessarily want to pay what you think you're worth. So
Right.
I think finding a balance of knowing your worth and also staying humble and where you grew up and who supported you, it's easy to get new clients, but it's harder to keep those referrals, and it's harder to keep those existing clients. And so we just try to do what we can to make those people happy.
Yeah, we our business is about 90% referral.
Mm-hmm.
So once you have a great client base that knows and trusts and loves you, and you love them back well, and you just take good care of your client, like it sounds like you do, you get that repeat business over and over and over, and they're going to say, hey, where'd you get this cake? And you're gonna, and so it just keeps building. So it sounds like that's probably a lot of it, is that you're taking great care of your clients.
Yeah, we try. We actually have a lot. I just got done taking a 4-day business course, and which has even lit another bigger fire in me. And so we have some really exciting things on the horizon that deal with keeping our clients, even happier and taking care of those people. So
yeah, I read a book years ago called The Experience Economy. And so everything that we do is an experience, right?
Yeah.
So coming into your shop, I get my little 12 pack of beautiful cupcakes. So immediately the experience, even the box, you've got your sticker. I mean, the window's even cute. It's not just square. So I'm just looking at it like going, okay, I need to go into the shop and see but from, like thinking about from the parking lot, like what does it look like walking up to the place? And then when we're in there, and, I think it's fun because you can always kind of continually tweak and grow and develop and get better and better and better. And so it's a lot of fun. I like being a small business owner myself. And it sounds like you do too.
Yeah. Things are constantly changing. So, which
yes,
is good and bad sometimes, but mainly good.
yeah. Do you have any advice for somebody who's wanting to start out doing like a small business, or even maybe another bakery? Or, I think you've probably learned the hard way on some stuff.
Yeah.
If you're anything like me, you learned a lot of hard lessons.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I think majority is just make sure, do your research, stay current. I think as a business owner, it's easy to get lax and just say this works now, so let's just keep doing it. And I'm thankful on one hand because my husband is a person that he pushed me to do that business course. And so I'm so thankful that I ended up doing it because some things came to light that I wouldn't even thought of otherwise.
Right.
And so I think kind of like what we were talking about is just being willing to constantly change and develop and just go from there. And then kind of like what I mentioned earlier is just know your worth for sure.
Yeah. And be able to say no. Yeah. I think I read somewhere you're either growing or you're dying, right? Because you can't just stay static. Our bodies don't, and minds don't work like that. So you got to keep feeding it. Speaking of feeding, what are some of your favorite restaurants in town? Since you're like in the culinary world, you may have some good insights for our listeners coming to town.
I do. I love the Label.
I do too.
I love the
Raphael
sushi
was on
there.
here early on. He's great.
Yeah. I love the Label, and also love their sister store. Now I forgot the name, in Bristol.
State Street.
I can't remember. It's
State
a number
421 or something like that. 420
that.
State. Yeah.
Yes, 420, I think. So I'm huge. I love the Label. I'm also like, I know I probably shouldn't be sharing this, but I'm not like, cake is not my favorite dessert.
What is your favorite?
Ice cream.
We're like kindred spirits. I love some ice cream. So you like Mona Lisa?
Yeah.
Gelato. Are you a gelato fan?
I love any kind of ice cream, gelato, any of that. But occasionally I'll take my nieces on Monday to Mona Lisa's and we'll grab a little snack. So I'm a huge ice cream person.
That's good. What's your favorite ice cream?
Probably mint chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love mint chip. I eat ice cream almost every night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Carly and I watched a little TV, and I got my little mug.
Yeah.
My dad used to do that. Like, I was like, why didn't you have a bowl? And I think he started like, okay, if I have a coffee cup,
downsize a little bit.
Portion control. And I was like, okay, this is some wisdom. So I'm going to do that. So now I get a little coffee cup and I eat my ice cream. And I've been on some organic ice cream from Publix. And they have a great mint chip. That's fantastic. Okay. And they have a salted caramel and then a chocolate truffle. That's just, so good. So, So, okay. What about like if you're going to go get a pizza, where would you go for that?
Pizza? I like Rocks. I like Rocks.
Yes.
Pizza really, really
Larry's a good dude.
Yeah. I like them really well for pizza.
I need to get him on here. Yeah, they're a good pizza. Burger?
I don't eat burgers a whole lot.
Right.
I'd probably say Five Guys for my burger.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Where are you and your husband going on a date night?
Bonefish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonefish or the label. The label.
You didn't even stop to think about it.
The reason is the label usually is always like an hour
Super
wait.
packed.
And we're like, we have an hour. And that's what we have. So
Yes.
it's usually bonefish. not
Well,
the
Nathan's
bonefish.
been on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a good friend of ours. He's in our small group.
Cool.
And so,
cool.
yeah, he's been on the podcast. And that's where Carly and I love to go too.
Yeah.
We just had birthday celebrations there the other day.
Yeah, that's I love bonefish.
Because it's just my mom's birthday. My dad's is Friday, and mine was the other day.
Fun.
Like they just wanted to pack it all together.
Yeah.
Any advice for young mothers out there?
Oh Lord, bless you.
Since
I
you're take lots of vitamins,
yes,
get lots of energy.
Yeah, pray daily.
Yes, and pray daily.
Yeah. I think just knowing that you're not alone and knowing that there's other hardworking women, whether it's staying home and taking care of the entire household or running a business or working a 9-to-5 job, you're not alone. And I would say find your people.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah.
Whether it's through church, small groups, or business.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Like our small group, we just love those people. I mean, like, and I don't know what we would do without them. And I hope they feel the same way because we try and love and support each other. Right.
Yeah.
And so if you're moving to the area, we encourage you to get plugged in with a church and a small group, and it'll change your world if you've got a good one. And if you don't, move on, find a different one.
Yeah.
But you need to find some good people that are in the same stages of life, that you can talk to your friends and be like, these girls are wearing me out.
Yes. Yeah.
And my husband, and like,
I think it's good to have, I think it's really important to have a group where it is primarily everybody in the same boat, but it's also good to see the varieties. I think we went pre-COVID, we started a small group with Tri-Cities, or we didn't start, but we started attending, and it was a wide variety.
Tri-Cities Baptist?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a wide variety, and we loved every single person that was in that group. And so I think having those little bits of people that you can come together as a group and then, establish relationships outside of that with is really important too.
Yeah. You need Paul needed a Timothy and a Bartholomew or something. Like you need an older person and a younger person that you're discipling, and then you need to be being discipled as well. And then, but having different points of view. And yes, we have a young church, and we told it, we're kiddingly saying we were having like a gray hair campaign. We were looking for people with gray hair. If you have gray hair and you're listening and you want to come to Redstone Church, we'd love to have you.
Gosh, you see, we're right across the street from Redstone.
I mean, you could like walk there. Maybe you should come on over. It's a lot of fun. We have like 200 adults and like 4,000 kids or something.
Oh, yeah, I remember Phil Trigg saying there was quite a bit of kids.
We're unique. So. Like our pastors will go to church event or like planning event, conferences or whatever, and they're like, "All right, tell us about your church." And these people are like, "Oh, well, we've got." We've got like 20 kids and we got 180 adults or something. And we're like, well, we've got 120 kids and we've got like 100 adults, like,
yeah.
I tell everybody, if they got organized, they could take us down. I'll take these two. You got those. Yeah, we're good.
Well, maybe we can add to
the
craziness then.
Yeah. Come on. I will say that you wouldn't have any excuse to being late.
That's right true.
You can just walk across the street, which would be great. That'd be great. What didn't I ask you that you'd like to share? Anything?
I'm trying to think. I feel like we covered
pretty much everything.
Pretty good bit, yeah.
How do our listeners connect with you, Rachel?
Through Facebook, social media, obviously, Instagram. Those are all great things.
They're on the socials.
Yeah. You got to get current.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm learning.
Tech savvy
I'm
myself.
an old dog. Trying to learn new tricks.
I think a huge part of growing on social media has been Mitch's wife, actually, with Marissa.
Yes, Maypop Media. Little shout out. They're awesome.
Yeah, she takes some great photos. All on her page, if you see like amazing photos, those were taken by hers.
Gotcha.
The others were taken by me.
Okay.
You can tell.
I'm better at making cakes, people. I don't
exactly
photography. I let people do their thing.
Yeah.
You stay in your lane.
Exactly. So, but yeah, social media is great. If you're wanting to order a cake or have questions about pricing, just shoot an email.
Okay. Talk about, because I'm a last minute guy.
Oh gosh.
I know. And so like it'll be the day before, and I'm like, oh, we didn't get a birthday cake. Now, if you're not me and you're planning ahead, when would be like the perfect time frame to call Petite Sweets and order your cake?
Depending on the kind of cake, obviously weddings we book about 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 8 months out. But other cakes,
did you say 6 to 8 months?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we have quite a few for 2023 already. But that's
That's
weddings.
awesome.
That's weddings. So
That's
it's
weddings,
different. It's a
right.
different, you know, ball
I mean, you
field
don't
there.
last minute think, hey, I'm just going to get married tomorrow
And we
and I
have
need a
had
cake.
that. We've definitely had that. But not too often.
I like those
so.
people.
You're like, that's my kind of people.
That's right. Let's figure it out today.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know about tomorrow. So.
But if you're wanting like a custom birthday cake, usually May is one of our busiest months because of graduations and stuff.
Gotcha.
So busier months, usually 3 to 4 weeks out would
Okay.
be really great. Otherwise, 2 weeks we can usually get you in pretty well.
Okay.
If you're just wanting something simple iced with like an inscription, give us 2 days. We can usually get it done for you.
Gotcha. And if you're like me, you're going to Food City. And be like, Martha Lou, can you write happy birthday on that?
Call us first and see what we can get done for you.
I'm kidding.
So we try to have a couple of cakes in our case.
Yeah.
But obviously that's another thing is we're working on all of our pre-orders first. And so just having the hands as we develop and get bigger, we'll be able to offer more of those.
Yeah.
We usually have 1 or 2 in the case.
Do you see a second location anytime soon in your future?
I don't know what soon, but it's definitely on my radar as far as having a second location.
Yeah.
I'd like to tap into more of what I grew up with my mom in a coffee shop bakery type thing. Because I learned so much from her. So I'd like to tap into that.
Maybe you just partner with Open Doors.
Yeah.
Let them handle the coffee and you do the deliciousness because it is
is
really good. I'm telling you, folks, I'm still like my mouth is looking at these things and watering because that strawberry rose one was fantastic. Yeah. And that's just one of them. I got like a whole bunch more. Carly, we're going to be set up tonight. It's gonna
Carly,
be
I brought 12 just in case.
She brought 12, baby. We're set up. So yeah. Well, come by and see my new friend Rachel over at Petite Sweets. She's over on Oakland. What's the address there?
2726 East Oakland Avenue.
And you can probably say, "Hey Siri, get me directions to Petite Sweets," and
or like I said, like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. I'll be doing that today.
Yeah.
And I'll take pictures and do all that stuff too to help you out. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I'm Colin Johnson with the Colin and Carly Group and Keller Williams Realty. If you want to sell a home or make a move to Johnson City, you can call me or you can call Rachel's family. They have they're in business with us. Hey, Matt and Mel. Love you guys. But yeah, we'd love to help you move to Johnson City. And you can come eat some delicious cakes, see our beautiful mountains, hang out with great people like Rachel, and she may even take you out on her pontoon boat if you're really sweet. Have a great day. Thanks for listening. Love you all.